January 28th Economic Development Commission meeting to order. Start with pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll start with roll call.
Rob Kometz.
Present.
Kathy Balicki.
Present.
Lauren Behrens.
Present.
Okay, we'll move on to agenda item number 4, election of officers.
I would like to make a motion to elect Rob Commence as president.
I will second that motion.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
I would like to make a motion for Lauren for the vice president of the Economic Development Commission.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
I'd like to make a motion to elect Kathy Balicki as secretary of the Economic Development Commission Board.
I will second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Okay, we'll move on to number 5, approval of the April 23rd, 2025 Economic Development Minutes. Do I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the April 23rd, 2025 Economic Development minutes.
I will second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Motion passes. Move on to public hearings.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have 4 public hearings before you today. Before we start, can I make sure that everyone has their mic on? We'll start off with A. That's it. Public hearing to consider the approval and the issuance of economic development tax increment bonds for the SWAA commercial project. At this time, I would like to open the public hearing. So I will have Tom Everett come up and give a little recap of item A for you.
Thanks, Billy. Good evening, Commission members. My name is Tom Everett. I'm an attorney with Barnes & Thornburg in South Bend, and we are serving as bond counsel to the town in connection with the proposed economic development revenue bonds for 4 different economic development projects within the town. Today, the Economic Development Commission needs to do 2 things: hold a public hearing on each project, and then 2, consider approval of a resolution and a report relating to each project. As Billy mentioned, the first project is the SWAA commercial project. With this project, LBL Development LLC would undertake a mixed-use development in the town, consisting of approximately 120,000 square feet of commercial, retail, professional office, and restaurant space. This project is expected to result in the creation of 60 temporary jobs and 65 permanent full-time jobs in the town. In support of the project, the town would issue tax increment revenue bonds up to $15 million for the purpose of financing a portion of the infrastructure costs for the project and other project costs. The bonds would be payable solely from the new taxes generated by the project and would not be payable from any other funds or taxes of the town. I'm happy to answer any questions, but if there are none, I would suggest the commission open the public hearing for this first project.
Any questions? Tom, could you maybe just recap on that maximum of the $15 million and what that actually means?
So that $15 million is really just a maximum, a not-to-exceed amount for the bonds at this point. The town, in coordination with its municipal advisor, will determine the amount of the bonds that will actually be issued prior to the issuance of the bonds, and that will be based on the anticipated estimated new taxes to be generated by the project. And so this is just a maximum amount that the commission would approve. But no matter what the level of the bonds that are issued, they would only be payable from the new taxes that are generated from this project. So in the event that the project was, as it's actually built, would be less, result in less taxes than we're anticipating now, these bonds would still only be payable from the taxes themselves, and the town would not be responsible for making up any of the difference.
Okay, so yeah, as I understand it, then no taxpayer liability other than the increment tax.
Correct. Only the increment that's generated by this new development itself. No other funds of the taxpayers or of the town.
And what's the long-term benefit to it as far as leaving a piece of vacant land and collecting that, or developing it, leaving that bond there for 20 or 25 years, whichever type it is? What happens after that?
So this type of bond and bond issue is exactly what TIF was created for a number of decades ago. So this allows the town to incentivize new development, to bring new development into the town. And all of the taxes that are currently paid on the property will still go to, all of the overlapping units will still go to the town and the schools. It's only the incremental difference, the new taxes, that will go to support these bonds. And so these bonds will be paid back over a term of up to 25 years, but then after the bonds are paid off, the project will go back on the tax rolls for the town and the other overlapping units. So it's adding, as the town undertakes these projects, as they come, over time, you're adding to the tax base by incentivizing these projects now. So it's a forward-looking way to incentivize new development and lead to long-term growth in the town.
Okay, thank you.
If there's no other questions, I will open it up for public comment. Is there any public comment? You can state your name and address.
Doug Blocker, 10591 Juniper Lane, St. John. I guess my first question is where is this project at? Is this the 231 and Parish project? Or?
It's between Park Place and Parish.
Okay. Didn't the town already issue $6.5 million in bonds for the same project? I guess.
On the same project, you asked?
Yes.
No.
So what was the $6.5 million that we issued probably a year or so ago for?
I don't have that in front of me, but I can track that for you.
I mean, it was for infrastructure improvements, would be roadways, water mains, sewer mains, sanitary sewers and so forth. So is this going to be the same thing, or is this for the buildings itself and the parking lots?
Well, the item that's on for public hearing is this commercial piece of property.
Yes.
If you have questions about anything that was done in the past, I can pick out your question and
Well,
make sure you get an answer.
at that point, the public hearing's over with.
But again, this is for this particular item, not something that we may or may not have passed a year and a half ago. But I will make sure to follow up on anything you have from back then.
Okay. So I guess then is the 15 million for road improvements, water main improvements, sanitary sewer, storm sewer, parking lots, buildings?
So that's for the acquisition, construction, and improvement of the property.
So everything.
A little bit of that.
So we're also paying to buy the property?
We're not buying the property.
Well, we're paying for it,
Again, it's
basically.
for acquisition, construction, and improvement of said property.
Okay. At this point, I'd be voting, as a resident, I'd vote against it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else from the public that'd like to speak on this item? No one else coming up. We will close that public hearing. We will move to the next one. Public hearing to consider the approval of issuance of economic development tax increment bonds for the Boyer Allocation Area Project. I will bring Tom back up. I know it'll probably be a repeat, Tom, we'll see what he said, but we'll go ahead and do that.
Yep. So with this project, the developer, SJ 9301 LLC, would undertake the construction of a new Wintrust Bank branch on the southeast corner of Wicker Avenue and West 93rd Avenue in the town, and including demolition of the existing structures on that property. The project is expected to result in the creation of 40 temporary jobs and 17 permanent full-time jobs in the town. In support of this project, the town would issue tax increment revenue bonds up to $1 million for the purpose of financing a portion of infrastructure costs for the project and other project costs. As with the bonds we just discussed, these bonds would only be payable from the new property taxes that are generated with respect to this project, and no other funds of the town. I'm happy to answer any questions on this as well.
And this is strictly related to the project on the corner, the new bank going up, right?
Yes, this is these bonds would be payable from the allocation area, which just consists of that of the project site.
With the box inside of the big box, they're only going on the corner for that particular property.
I don't have any questions.
No.
I will then open up the public hearing for the Boyer allocation area. If anyone would like to talk.
Doug Blocker, 10591 Juniper Lane, St. John. I guess the question I got is the owner, developer purchasing the bonds? And I guess what interest rates are being paid on the bonds at this time? And how are the bonds going to be paid back? I mean, 100% of the real estate taxes going to pay the bonds off first before the city gets any? Or is it 60/40, 50/50?
So the developer is purchasing the bond.
These are developer bought bonds, again, which will be repaid back just from that allocation area in that EDA. As far as the numbers of what it will be, once these are created, we will sit with Baker Tilly, who's sitting behind you, go over the amounts and come back to the council, to this committee and the public, and let them know how much of a bond, what percentages are which, so on and so forth.
Okay. Are these normally tax exempt bonds or are they taxable bonds?
Tom?
They can be either.
Either one? Okay. And you still don't know the percentage that will be paid back from the taxes?
Once we have those figures of what we know the allocation area can bring in, we will finalize those numbers.
Okay.
We'll call on Matt Review. You can come up and state your name and address.
Hi, my name's Matt Rohr. I live at 11069 Hickory Grove Road in the Mill Creek subdivision, and I am the president of the Mill Creek HOA. So, one observation, and I come here from Naperville. I lived there 30 years. We went from 70,000 to 150,000 residents, and built the town again, double. And a couple observations. One is, this is very standard practice for how town to grow. There's nothing unusual about anything that's happening here. Even though some people, it's new to them, but it's not, this is a standard practice. The practice protects, as I understand, Tom, the town's current flow. This is a way to fund that separates it from the regular town transactions and protects the town. Am I correct in that? Yeah. And that's why it's a standard way of doing things. That's good. The second comment, I may be out of order, but the development that we mentioned before is our next door neighbor. We're the immediate subdivision to the south. And the two stages of this, the stage of the home development, we thought was pretty big, but there it is. And the commercial, these were two separate things. This is stuff that was all publicly discussed, I don't know, a year ago or more than that. So there's nothing new here. And this is the town's proceeding exactly the way the town talked about it, and so was the developer. So this is all kind of old news from us. And we are supportive of how the development's going, and LBL's been a good neighbor to us through the construction. Now it's picking up, so just thought it should be on the public record. And if there was a problem, they all know I would come here and complain as well. Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate that.
There's no one else from the public, and there's no other questions. I'm going to go ahead and close that public hearing. Item C, public hearing to consider the approval and the issuance of the economic development tax increment bonds for the Castle Rock project. any questions from the board before I open up to public comment and bring Tom back up?
No.
I have no questions.
Tom, you want to give it to us again?
Yep, so this project, the developer is Hams Lake Development, Inc. They would undertake the construction of a new residential development in the town consisting of approximately 60 single-family detached homes and related infrastructure. This project is expected to result in the creation of 25 temporary jobs in the town. In support of the project, the town would again issue tax increment revenue bonds up to $5,550,000 for the purpose of financing infrastructure costs and other project costs. And again, these bonds would be purchased by the developer. They would be payable solely from the new taxes generated by the development. And if there was ever a shortfall in what would be paid under the bonds, there would be no obligation for the town to make up that difference. So very similar in structure to the first two projects. But since this is a residential project, the statute limits bonds to 20 years instead of 25 years. So the bonds for the Castle Rock project would be only 20 years. Happy to answer any questions.
I have no questions.
No questions.
With that, I will open it up to the public. Anyone wishing to speak, please come up, state your name and address, please.
Doug Blocker, 10591 Juniper Lane, St. John. Seeing it's a residential development, I feel that the developer should be responsible for paying all the infrastructure improvements for his water main, sewer main, and roadways. I don't think that burden should be put on to the town, or the town should be paying it with our taxes. I mean, what benefit is to us? I mean, he's still going to sell the lots, and if he doesn't sell it, we don't care. We don't need that much growth. And again, it's sidewalks for his subdivision that he's putting in. I mean, I see no commercial value to it for us, or any value to it. So again, as a residential project, I feel the developer should be totally responsible for his improvements and would be objecting to it. Thank you.
Thank you.
To be clear, the tax collection that we're collecting now obviously remains the same. They only collect from the increase in the tax increment.
From the additional homes.
Correct. If there is anyone else from the public that would like, no? Okay, I will now close that public hearing. We will go on to the last one, public hearing, consider the approval and the issuance of economic development tax increment bonds for the Park West project. Tom?
So for this last project, the Park West project, LBL Development LLC would undertake a residential development in the town consisting of approximately 156 single-family attached dwelling units and related infrastructure. The project is expected to result in creation of 30 temporary jobs in the town. In support of this project, the town would issue tax increment revenue bonds up to $5.5 million for the purpose of financing infrastructure costs and other project costs. And again, as with the others, these bonds would be developer purchased and would be solely payable from the new taxes generated in the allocation area. And I would just mention that since it was with the last project I was discussing that these are a residential project and there's a difference under the statute. The state legislature actually created the residential TIF statute a number of years ago precisely to spur new residential development. There are housing shortages across the state, and so this type of development is exactly in line with what the legislature created the residential TIF statute for. And so with that, I'd happy to answer any questions on this one.
No, it's single-family homes, it's not
Correct.
multi, okay. I don't have any.
And again, is that 20 years, Tom, you said on that?
Yes,
As it's
these bonds would
residential?
also be 20 years as well.
So then for the first two, those are 25, correct?
25, correct.
first two are commercial.
I have no further questions. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom. With that, I will open it up to the public. Anyone from the public that would like to come up and comment, please state your name and address.
Doug Blocker, 10591 Juniper Lane, St. John. Again, being a residential project, I am totally against the issuance of bonds for this developer's improvements. First, I don't believe this property was economically distressed in the first place to qualify, but I'm very disappointed too that the town took away the commercial zoning that this property originally had to do his PUD. He now is doing not single-family, but attached single-family townhomes that are probably 10 units attached together. The development has a density of like 7.5 units per acre. He's got so many townhomes crammed in there, I don't think he could fit another one in there. Of course, he is giving a site to the town, so, for free, supposedly, but now you're going to give him, what, $5.5 million in taxes, so I don't count that being free. Again, it's a residential development that should be paying for his own public improvements, not to have the town residents pay for it. As a citizen, I totally object to this development or these issuance of the bonds.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else from the public that would like to? No? Any questions from the board?
I have none.
No questions.
I will, at this time, close the public hearings and turn it over to President.
Okay, so we'll move on to number 7. We'll start with, and looking for a motion to adopt Resolution EDC 2026-01-28A.
I would like to make a motion to adopt Resolution EDC 2026-01-21A, resolution of the Town of St. John Economic Development Commission approving and authorizing certain actions and proceedings with respect to one or more series of certain proposed economic development tax increment revenue bonds and related matters.
I will second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? No discussion? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, I'm looking for a motion to adopt Resolution EDC 2026-01-28B.
I would like to make the motion to adopt Resolution EDC 2026-01- I'm sorry, my glasses, 28B.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I would like to second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
No discussion.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Move on to item 7C. I need a motion to adopt Resolution EDC 2026-01-28C.
I would like to make a motion to adopt Resolution EDC 2026-01-28C.
I will second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
No discussion.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Okay, item 7D, need a motion to adopt Resolution EDC 2026-01-28D.
I would like to make the motion to adopt Resolution EDC 2026-01-28D.
I would like to second that motion.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
No discussion.
All those in favor of adopting Resolution EDC 2026-01-28D, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Move on to 7E. Looking for a motion to adopt Resolution EDC 2026-01-28E.
So for the board information, this is creating the allocation area
Okay.
I would like to make a motion to adopt resolution EDC 2026-01-28E.
I will second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
No discussion.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Move on to item 8, reports and correspondence. Billy, do you have any?
No reports at this time.
Okay, no reports at this time. We'll move on to item number 9, public comment. Seeing that there's no public comment, I'll need a motion for adjournment.
I will make the motion for adjournment.
I would like to second that motion.
All those in favor say aye.